Hey guys, Justin with AmericanMuscle.com here with my detailed breakdown of the Ford Performance IRS differential housing loaded with 373 gears and that Torsen differential, available for your 2015 and newer V6 and GT Mustang. So the Ford Performance differential housing should be a great choice for the S550 owners out there, essentially looking for a turnkey package that will feature the popular 373 gear ratio in addition to the very awesome Torsen T2R differential. Now this diff will be great for the owners who prefer the twists and turns of the back roads or maybe an autocross track to the straight line of a drag strip. And this is very important to point out here, gang, because Ford Performance doesn't exactly recommend that Torsen T2R for drag strip use, as it's really not designed to take that kind of abuse. Now the package that we have in this video, the iron diff housing with the 373s and the Torsen diff, essentially the same exact thing that you're gonna find in all manual performance pack GTs, but I do wanna point out that you can use this thing with both manual and automatic cars. Automatic cars just need to grab yourself a separate pinion flange, which is available separately. Now this thing will require the use of 34 spline axles, which pretty much covers everything, obviously all factory axles, but most aftermarket axles as well. And it's gonna get a full 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter from me, guys, because obviously there is a lot of work involved. Now, as I mentioned earlier, guys, you're essentially looking at a turnkey differential housing. This thing is ready to go right out of the box. You have your 373 gear set from Ford Performance already loaded in there. That Torsen diff, hell, they even fill this thing with fluid for you. I'm not gonna go as far as calling this thing a quick change rear end, like a Winters, for instance, and all my old school hot rodder guys will get that reference, but it's the closest thing to it for Mustang owners out there without having to crack open the diff, swap gears, adjust your shims, your backlash, all that stuff. That's not necessary here, guys. You simply bolt this thing up and you're ready to rock and roll. So why would any S550 owner want to install something like this? Well, I would think the numerically higher 373 gear ratio is going to be an upgrade in and of itself, especially when compared to the numerically lower gear ratios like your 315s, your 331s, or even your 355s. Now, obviously the 373 is going to be a much more noticeable improvement compared to the numerically lower options like the 315s, for instance, but regardless, everybody is going to see an improvement in acceleration and just helping to get the car out of the hole. Now the Ford Performance ring and pinion gear set are manufactured right here in the USA, made from strong forged construction, and of course CNC cut, finished off in a black oxide kind of coating here, which makes for a stronger gear set overall, but one that's going to be a little quieter as well. Now those 373 gears are loaded into Ford's Super 8.8 iron differential housing that's typically only used on manual cars, and in my opinion it's going to be a lot stronger than the automatic's aluminum differential housing. Now in fact, there's some very, very rare and isolated cases of automatic guys breaking these little tabs here at the drag strip when launching off a trans brake on a sticky tire with huge power, but that shouldn't be an issue here with the iron housing. But with all that said, and again, I want to remind you guys, the Torsen T2R differential that is loaded into the housing here isn't exactly the preferred diff of choice for drag racers out there. Instead, it's going to be an awesome diff for guys who prefer the twists and turns on the back roads, autocross track, or even a road course. And that's because the Torsen T2R is a high biasing type of differential. And what that means is basically this thing's gonna bias up to 4 times the amount of torque to the tire with the most grip at any given point, which will really help you put that power down coming into and out of tight turning type of situations. Now the problem with the Torsen differential is that it doesn't feature any internal clutches or preload springs, therefore meaning it doesn't lock up like Ford's other go-to differential, the track lock. Now that thing has internal clutches and therefore does lock up, whereas the Torsen here is a helical style differential and will just really never lock up, therefore making it not exactly the best choice for the drag racing type of applications. Now, can you use this thing at the drag strip on occasion? Sure, but I just wouldn't be putting this thing on a dedicated drag car anytime soon. Now, one thing I did want to point out here, guys, is that if you do install something like this, you are going to need to have your speedometer recalibrated for you, either by the dealer or if you have a handheld tuning device, you can do it yourself. Manual cars, your speedometer is just going to be off. On the other hand though, automatic cars, your speedometer is going to be off as well, but your transmission is going to be shifting at wacky points because it's still technically looking for that other gear ratio. So the message here, guys, is just make sure you have your speedometer recalibrated, or be sure to do it with your handheld tuning device. Now before we get into the install, I do want to quickly touch on price, guys, and you're going to be looking at right around $1,800 here for the loaded differential housing from Ford Performance, which, yes, I agree, does sound a little steep, but you have to consider what you're getting here, guys. The loaded gears, the differential, the housing, you're even getting that fluid fill, so you're getting everything from soup to nuts, and it is ready to install right out of the box. And speaking of that installation, we do give this one a full 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter on the site, and of course I'm going to back that up here with this particular install, not because it's the most difficult job in the world, just because there's some steps involved, and this thing is heavy. It's weighing in at right around 130 pounds, so just keep that in mind. Timing wise, you're looking at about 4 hours to a half a day in the shop or garage to get this thing knocked out. Now, I'm not going to run down step by step what to do here, guys, but just to give you a basic overview, the axles will need to come out of your factory diff. You are going to need to disconnect the drive shaft, and then you can drop the center section from the cradle. Installation will simply just be done in reverse order, and it is nice to point out that you don't have to drop the entire rear subframe in order to tackle this one. However, if this seems like a little too much work for you, you might want to give your local shop a call. I'm sure they'd be willing to help you out. So if you're a corner carving S550 owner out there and you also want to improve your off-the-line acceleration as well, you'll want to check out the loaded IRS Ford Performance diff housing right here at AmericanMuscle.com.